And then we should be looking pretty good. All righty. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our weekly college and career workshop. I'm Megan, and I'm the program manager for SAIL, which is the Summer Academy to Inspire Learning, if you haven't been with us before. So we have a wonderful guest speaker with us today. Her name's Holli Johnson, and she's the coordinator for the Lane African American Black Student Success Program. And she's also a longtime friend of SAIL, so it's fun to have you back here. And she's going to share about her program, the different resources they offer, and kind of how to get connected with her and her wonderful team. So before we get started, as usual, I just want to remind everyone who's watching that we put on these programs for you, for students, for families, for counselors and teachers. So any questions that you have, please put them in the chat at any time. You won't interrupt us, and we'll make sure that those questions get answered towards the end. And if you're watching it and we're not live, you can always leave a comment on the video and we'll check those and we'll get back to you or get you connected with the right person. So we just want to get you connected with these resources and answer your questions. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Holli.
Well, thank you, Megan. It's always a pleasure to do any type of work alongside SAIL, one of our great partners. So like Megan mentioned, my name is Holli Johnson, and I have a long history with the SAIL program, and just thankfully so, because for me, if I had a program like SAIL when I was going through my education process, I would just be elated. So please take advantage of everything that you're hearing from the SAIL program right now. I would have been on a completely, totally different track. So just happy to have you guys here and for you to be joining us today. So a little bit about my program. It's the Lane African American and Black Student Success Program. We're housed at the Lane Education Service District. So if you ever want to find us in our landing page, just go over to Lane ESD and you will find our information under grants. And so we are a direct result of House Bill 2016 and the Student Success Act. So we're grant funded. We got some money to work with African American and Black identified students in 16 districts in Lane County. So that's a lot. Our program includes myself, our staff, and 4 student success navigators who are assigned to different schools throughout the districts. And so 4 of us, if you can do the math, 16 districts, and that includes elementary, middle, and high school. So it's not just high school. So anyways, the work we do is really to support students and help families navigate through the K-12 system, and to connect them, to get them involved, motivated, inspire them, to get involved with community engagement, student leadership activities. So we do a lot of things. And so I have a little slideshow that I prepared, and please feel free to drop questions into chat, as Megan mentioned, and we'll have a quick Q&A time for it. So at this time, I'm just going to share my screen and take you through what we do. I won't read every word for word, but I have a presentation because I don't like people staring at me the whole time. But anyways, I do have a presentation for you today. So I hope that you'll get some information from this that you can share with students. Again, our program is African American and Black Student Success Program. And for short, you'll hear me say Lane ABS, C-A-A-B-S. So when I say Lane ABS, I'm talking about our program. So today's agenda, I just want to talk to you and tell you that the SAIL program and the Lane African American Student Success Program has a rich history. We support them and they support us in all that we do. Our programs are to uplift and to get students interested and motivated and inspired about the next steps. So we are partners, and today we're just going to talk about the program overview. I kind of went through that. Some of our goals that we're working on, and it's not just for 2021, but for every academic school year. And then we talk about the inclusive environment. We really try to make sure that our students stay in the know and that they're aware of all of the opportunities from their counselors and advisors. So we work very closely with districts and giving them updates and sometimes teaching them and participating in professional development opportunities for inclusivity. Like I said, we have 4 student success navigators, and they are assigned to different schools throughout the district. We'll talk about a few things that you should keep in mind, and I love to inspire students to go to the next level and to challenge themselves. And then of course we'll have some time for some Q and A's. And this is really the agenda for today because it includes a scholarship opportunity, and that's new for us. So I'll talk about that later. Again, I tell you, we are part of the Student Success Act. All schools and in the district have agreed and welcomed us in to work on some of the systemic racism issues that have been going on for several years. We like to work with culturally responsive pedagogy, and so what we're trying to do is get teachers interested, involved, and up to date on the curriculums and how they present them to our schools. So we do a lot of that work through professional development. Currently, we're working on, if you've heard of it, BH 365. I know if there's any teachers here today, you guys have probably heard about it. It's been thrown around a lot with Latimer is his name, the author of the book. And if you haven't heard of it, please look that up. That's something that we're working on building modules for to work with some teachers across the districts in a training program. So our goals really for our program are to promote enrollment of early learners. So we do have an early learning specialist who works with our littles, I call them our littles, and just getting them prepared and ready for school. We continue our work through elementary, middle, and high school. So we work to reduce the number of discipline incidents, and there's a whole bunch of history behind that in African American and Black students. So we work with the schools and trying to navigate that process and help students and schools understand some of the barriers that we face and why these things happen. We strive to get our 9th graders on track. And I always say, I try to get them to the track, near the track, around the track, get somewhere by the track. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And I know I got some 9th graders who might be viewing this. And one of the notes that I took for myself before I started is for you 9th graders to, as you're getting familiar with high school, just know that eventually, once the shock of being in high school and this new transition for you happens, to just remember that eventually we want you to start taking note about getting on track so that you can, start working on your college or career goals. So by 10th grade, you definitely want to work with an advisor or counselor and ask questions. Go and ask questions and ask them what classes you should be taking. What are my core classes? What do I need? By the time I get to 10th grade, 11th grade. By 11th grade, you're probably starting to think about college choices, hopefully before that, but you're getting a little bit more serious. And college planning is a job. It's like a part-time job in and of itself. So we're trying to build those connections with you. And so I come to you today saying that we're another resource for you. When you start your planning process. Seniors, my seniors out there, congratulations for hanging in there and just stay motivated and ask questions, lots of questions. So I talk to you, I have a background in financial aid and scholarships particularly. I want you to know that this is the time when you should start framing your personal statements and getting ready for college in your 11th and 12th grade. So one of our other goals is to increase attendance. And like I said and mentioned, barriers exist, right, in all different communities. But in ours particular, we try to deal with some of those barriers and why our students aren't getting to school. And then to increase the graduation rates for African American and Black students. Obviously, that's our biggest goal. I'm happy to hear that Oregon has some pretty impressive graduation rates, but I'm not yet sure what that means in the African American and Black community. So I hope it's good. But we just really want to encourage you guys to take part in all of the resources that are available. I mentioned earlier that through the Lane ESD, there are a variety of programs. So our program is not the only one under the Education Service District. So I encourage you and welcome you to go and visit the website and find out some more information about some of the programs for your students, for you teachers out there. Here's some of our partners, and this is a very short list. Of course, we work closely with SAIL and with the OISP, which is the Oregon Youth Young Scholars Program. And so we share the same vision. We want you guys to be successful. We want your students to know about college prep. We want them to get connected. So we're trying to bridge, the gaps and make sure that our students are prepared for their future goals and aspirations. The NAACP is probably one of the programs we work very, very closely with on a daily basis. In fact, right now we are hosting an in-person tutoring program in collaboration with the NAACP, and it is held at the Science Factory Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays for high schoolers. So if you're interested in that, or you have students who you think might be able to benefit from that, please connect, reach out to the NAACP, reach out to me so we can find out how we can get them there if they're comfortable doing that. Of course, all the social distancing is in place, but that's a pretty great program right now. The students go there, they do their homework. They have tutors there and IAs, instructional assistants, who can help them with their work. But it's just a different space. It's a break from the kitchen table, right? So look that program up. We also work very closely with the Lane Community College Rites of Passage program. And so another program that's cultural, teaches our students about cultural awareness, gives them some training, some more educational resources. So very good partners. United Way and Early Readiness Program are some other programs. Stand for Children. We work with a lot of programs. I can't even list them all. And of course, the U of O, we collaborate with them probably on a weekly basis. So here's our team. Yay! That's me in the middle, and I'm Holly. On the left, you'll see Leela with that huge smile, Leela Ross. And then we have below her, Jason Floyd. And I know that there's somebody in this session today viewing this saying, I know her, I know him. Those are our two veterans over there, and they were here at the inception of our program. So our program's fairly new. It's only been live for about 3-ish years. So Jason and Leela were our first, and then Billy Fields is over here on my right and at the top, and then below is Niles Mitash, and this is our team. So they're amazing. They have amazing talents and skills that cover a variety of topics and issues. So Jason's really big on implicit bias. Leela is really big on awareness and mental health, implicit bias and biases, and increasing the cultural curriculums. She's great with the littles. She works with a lot of our elementary schools. Jason works with a lot of the high schools and a lot of administrators. He's amazing. Billy Fields is at high schools and middle schools. Churchill, we're at Sheldon, we are at Kelly, we're at Madison, Monroe, Fern Ridge. So if we got any rural people out here today, Niles Mitash at the bottom. My right is our newest navigator and assigned to the rural schools. Obviously, we're not at every single school because there's only 4 student success navigators, but I'm hoping to increase that pool soon so that we can get to every school. If you are watching this today and I didn't mention your school, I didn't mention all of them, or you've never heard of us, or you have never connected with us, I want to welcome you to reach out to me today, because even if you have one African American and Black student at your school, we want to connect with that person just to let them know and their families that we have a variety of resources that we like to share with them, and just to reach out and check in on them and see how they're doing and see how we can support them. So we're out throughout all the public schools in Lane County, and we try our best to get to everyone, but it's pretty difficult. Right now we're in virtual mode like we all are. So we're still connecting with our students, and here's Leela's list of schools. She is just amazing, and just I watch her and it's just like, wow. We get down on the floors with the kids in the middle or the elementary schools. At the middle school, she's always making sure they're involved and they know about programs like SAIL. Super important. So Jason Floyd works at the high schools, so Thurston, Sheldon, Willamette, and one middle school, Hamlin, which I think he is sharing with one of our other navigators, but he is amazing in making connections. So if you're a school administrator and you're watching this presentation, you have a few students or families that are asking questions, please field those questions over to us so we can make some connections. Niles Mutash is our newest navigator, and so he's fairly new, but he has taken on the responsibility of working with Fern Ridge Middle School, with the Elmira schools. North Eugene is one of our big programs, and he's also at Hamlin. We're making connections now with Howard Elementary. Believe they've already started having Black student unions over there. It's amazing because even the elementary students want to have a Black student union. So personally, I never heard about Black student unions until I got to, gosh, I believe community college. You know, it's like, wow, these elementary schools really want to participate. Billy Fields is assigned to Churchill, Springfield. He's at Kelly. We work really closely with South Eugene and their administrators at Kennedy, Monroe, and Crow. Yes, we have students at Crow. We love Kevin out there. And so we have maybe one or two at the most. There was 3. Like I said, if you have a few students and they need something that you think we might be able to guide them towards or help them with in their academics, please reach out to us. So I'm the coordinator, and I just coordinate the work of the navigators, and they do amazing work. Classroom instruction. So over the summer when COVID hit, we did some Google Classroom. So that's one of the tools we use. Currently, we just use our virtual platforms to host our Black Student Union meetings. So we try to have that space for students. And currently, we're doing a parent night for 4J. We do that once a month. We just had one Monday, and it was awesome. Parents got to ask questions, find out resources. They found out that some of our partners have some financial resources, food resources. So it's just a great time to come and find out information about the community. This is new, scholarship opportunity. We're super excited about this. And this is all me, and my background is in scholarships and financial aid. So I'm super excited that we're going to be able to offer a scholarship from the Lane Abs program. And so get ready for that. It's coming soon. More details later, but we want to support future Black educators. And when I say educators, it could be the counselor, the principal, it could be the teacher. So it's not just for teachers. So if you have some students who are on that track and who are interested in pursuing education, please keep us in mind. We're going to get that application ready and get it out to our administrators so they can share it with our students. This community engagement is huge with us right now. We plan and organize a bunch of events for our families and students. And even with COVID, like I said, we are still hosting our parent nights Youth leadership opportunities like AXO through NAACP, we promote that for them and help them get students involved. So if you have students with some type of art, talents, culinary experiences, literature, there's about 35 categories. We're looking for participants in that, dance. So that's through the NAACP, but we help them promote. We do a lot of promoting since we are in contact with students often and almost daily. We're connecting with someone. So we like to share those resources. These are just some pictures from the last event we had at the historic MIMS house. It was our end of the year celebration. We gave out some scholarships, the Maddie Reynolds Scholarship, took some pictures, had a photo booth, did some activities, played some games, and really just got together and shared. Did a lot of sharing and building, community building. So these are some of our projects in the pipeline. I'm really happy that I'm able to talk today because we are launching a survey to all of our district families who have students who identify as Black or African American. And that survey is going to help us determine how we can help you navigate through the K-12 system. It gives us an idea of what you guys might need and how we can help to support your students. And so look for that when you get it, or if you have students and you communicate and work and check in with parents, let them know that that's coming out and there will be incentives. So complete the survey and let us know how we're doing and how we can help. We have a Black Student Union publication project happening right now through the U of O School of Journalism, or I should say in collaboration with, and JLI, and they are assisting our students in becoming journalists. It is amazing. So they're coaching them through the process, and at the end of this process, we are going to have a publication going out. And can you imagine that? I mean, wow, if I had this opportunity, I could walk around and a magazine was presented and my story was in it, and I get to carry that with me for the rest of my life. Look at what I created, look what I did. I helped publish this. So great opportunity. And so we're still looking for students. We're probably going to continue this project going forward, but our first publication should be coming out in February. And we're always looking for students if they have photography or if they want to contribute to this publication at all. And so I know the CEL program has worked with the same contacts that we have there, the U of O School of Journalism, and I know they've been part of their summer camps. So just a shout out, thank you. So these are our challenges, and we don't really have to go into this, but we're all dealing with the pandemic right now, and so it's really hard to keep our students motivated. And so really that's my biggest challenge right now with our team. And so I know that you all are probably facing some of the same challenges, but let's work together. Let's try to build some kind of relationships to combat this together. So just staying motivated is really hard right now, and just recognizing that our students are going through a lot right now and that everybody's not comfortable in a virtual setting. And learning is difficult. So really that's all I want to say. We're struggling. A lot of our students are struggling, and we would like to help with some of that, those issues that are happening right now. So I really, really want to encourage you all that if you are a student, a student, you're aware of a family that is identifies as African American or Black, that they reach out to our program, and we can either refer them somewhere else or offer them some resources, or hopefully we can help them navigate through this difficult times right now. So it's just tough right now, but we're all in this together, and I encourage you guys to reach out to us. If we can be of any assistance, I would like to be the first one to know. I love to motivate students, so I cannot end this without saying, just for you students to stay encouraged and be inspired. We're not at the end yet. This is just temporary. And to your educators out there, to please remember that our students want to learn. They want to be included. They do want to pursue college. They do have aspiration and career goals and college education goals. But they might be in a family right now that doesn't know quite how to navigate through that system. So that's what we're here for, and let's get them involved and included, and not let's eliminate some of the marginalization, for the African American and Black students, because they do want to go to college. I didn't have a support system when I was getting ready for college. I didn't have a BSU at my school. I just didn't know about the resources. So if I wasn't the, inquisitive and interested, if I wasn't that type of person who could speak up and use my voice, and at one time I was not, I probably wouldn't be where I am today, but I put myself through college. I went and asked questions. And once I asked that first question, it was easier after that. But it's even hard sometimes for us to ask questions. So let's, students, get out there and ask questions. There's no right or wrong. I mean, just ask the question, participate in our engagement events. When we invite you to our spaces or invite you to a space, know that it is safe, and come to the BSU meetings. If you know that they're happening at your school, chime in every once in a while. Turn your camera off if you're shy, but ask questions, because that's what we're here for. For our program administrators and coordinators out there, our teachers and principals that are listening to this, our AVID programs, just know that it's not always comfortable for our students to come up and ask questions. For a variety of reasons, it's just not comfortable for us. So please reach out to them and ask them what you can do or how you can help them navigate to us, to programs like SAIL, to OYSP, wherever they feel comfortable. Just get them to us so that we can make sure that we include them in all of our programs. And finally, I just want to say, if I can do it, you guys can do it. Like I said, I grew up in a family where we didn't have conversations like we're having today. We didn't, talk about what's next, and let's save some money and get ready for college, and let's go get a summer job, and let's contribute, to our own college goals. Let's apply for scholarships. I watched all of my friends get together and gather and have college application night. And I just sat in the background because I didn't know how to be included in that, because I always felt like I was not included. And it wasn't until I got to a community college and found someone to help me. And from there, it was, the rest is history. I found out how to navigate, and I never stopped. And I'm still not stopping. I'm still navigating through systems, and I'm still trying to assist other people in their pursuits. So if you don't leave with anything else, just know that we are a resource in this community for our students, and we want to be there to help them and their families. So I would love to hear from the community any questions that you might have, and let me know if you've heard from us.
Wow, Holly, thank you so much for sharing. I'm so grateful that SAIL gets to do so much work with you in your program, because you're amazing. And so we have some cool, really good questions here too in response to your presentation. Okay, so we've got some kind of about you and your journey. So what made you want to help students with their academic success and pursue higher education?
That's a great question, and SAIL had actually something to do with that. So, like I said, I have a background in financial aid and scholarships, and that has just been my life. Like I love it. I love sharing. Once I found out about how to help people, I started helping people, and I spent 13 years at University of Oregon in the financial aid and scholarship office. And a lot of our work started shifting. At one point, it just started shifting. We were doing a lot more recruiting, and we started, I got connected with SAIL and started working with them. And I just fell in love with working with the youth. And like I said, I love to inspire. When I see those lights go off in somebody's eyes, when I tell them my story and my journey, and to see them say, I can do it, and to have them come back and say, wow, it was because of what you said to me, I can do it, and I did it. And so I started working with a lot of youth programs, and I just seen that there was a need, and it was much deeper than just a conversation, walking through the halls or down the sidewalk. So I pursued it, and my journey was not always easy, and I had some doors closed in my face. And so what I like to do now is make sure that people don't have those same doors closed in their face. So.
Thank you. I'm scrolling through our questions here to see if there's so many good ones. Okay, so how do I find out if there's a Lane Abs program at my school?
So Lane Abs is district-wide. So we're through the whole district, and we're housed at the Lane ESD, and then we go out into the schools. So we start by hosting Black student unions. And so if you have heard about a Black student union in your school, maybe one of your counselors or advisors might know, I would ask the principal, just go for it and say, hey. And so that way the conversation can be open, because if there isn't one there, you need to tell them that you've seen this lady named Holly, and she came on here and said, we can have one, and we can get that started. So Lane Abs is all over the district. And so it's a Black student union that you're looking for, or you can ask your principal, have they been assigned African-American and Black student success navigator? And then if you don't get your answer, I want you guys to reach out to me so I can get into that principal's email and get that conversation going, because we're really trying to connect with all the schools. And, sometimes we have pushback, and sometimes they're opening their doors, and other times they're not letting us in. So challenging work, but worth it.
So we'll make sure that in the description of the YouTube video that we have contact information. So when you're watching this, you can take that step and get your answers. And then, so for folks who are outside of Lane County, any ideas for African-American and Black students in other parts of Oregon?
It's asking the questions. It's going to your administrators and saying, hey, I'm hoping that they have something in place for our African-American and Black students. I know there are some other ABS programs across the county, so I'm curious what area you're in. I know Corvallis and Oregon State Black Student Union are working with some students. We're kind of the leaders in this work, and so they're reaching out to us, asking us how do our navigators work? So go start with your school. I always say go to the principal. See, I'm starting stuff, but you go to the principal, and then they're going to be like, oh, wow. It's going to challenge them, and they're going to reach out to us. So you can say that you've heard about this program through the Lane ESD, Education Service District, and what do they have in place? Because technically all the schools, the Student Success Act is huge, and all of the schools should be participating in something along these lines. So
awesome. And I know you talked a lot about the benefits of the program and at SAIL, and I think with your students too, we talk a lot about your resume and kind of building up skills and experiences. So what kinds of experiences or skills might someone get from being a part of the Lane Abs program?
Well, it's absolutely going to be beneficial when you're starting to write your college admissions applications and your scholarship applications, because you get to say that you stepped up and you were in this program leadership programs, or what I call them. And it's always going to be a good resume builder. When I presented for sale, and I'm sorry if this is so repetitive, but I always use the example of my daughter had a resume at 12 years old. She had a full resume. She volunteers in the community. She participates in the Oregon Young Scholars Program. She participated in SAIL. When she got of age, she does all this stuff that she doesn't even know. At her place of worship, she volunteers with the younger kid. She tutors her little sister. I mean, you guys just don't even know what you're doing in the community, but you are. If you're taking care of younger siblings, we're going to add that to your resume. So everything you do, and start thinking about it. If you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, start building your profile now, and start thinking about all the things you did. Some people are in sports, and so that's all they've done. Or they play, an instrument, and they've done that, for as long as they can remember. Other people are focused on academics. So we all have something to contribute. I say use it. If you ask me to tell my story, I'm telling it. I'm going to tell every bit of it. So use all of the things that you've done. And if you haven't participated and engaged in the community, in any groups, organizations that you're affiliated with, start doing it now, because you want to build your profile.
See what other, okay, so if you're part of a Lane Abs program, how might you connect with other students that are part of the program, or are there opportunities to do that?
I didn't understand the question. If you're already part of it?
Oh yeah, so if you're part of the program or interested in being a part of the program, do you have opportunities to meet other students?
Oh, absolutely. So when we provide that space for affinity groups, and if you asked me if I was in 9th grade and you said affinity group to me, I had no idea what you're talking about. What I'm talking about are your Mechas and your Ghanas and your Black student unions. And so these are the clubs, if you want to call them. So if you're already a part of them, please continue to come online, right, to the weekly meetings, or biweekly, whenever your school hosts them. And then we also have some times when we have community engagement events. Like I just said, 4J had a huge parent night when all the parents and the students and family, everybody came together, and I was just like, I just want to hug everyone. It was so awesome because they brought their whole family, and then you get to connect and say hi to other people and meet other people. So we made a lot of connections Monday night. The NAACP is a great place to go to their website and look for current events. The MLK events that we just had was awesome. We did some drive-bys. You drove by and you went through and picked up a bunch of goodies, and you got to meet some other community organizations. And then they did a hybrid program. So then they also did a virtual. So go and look at that. It was pretty cool. You might see somebody that you see today in that virtual streaming that they did. But we try to make sure that you guys connect all the time. And like I said, we have that in-person tutoring program where sometimes the kids just want to go and be there. It's in the big atrium part of the planetarium part of the science factory. And even though they're social distancing and one's in the front and one's in the back, they're in another space with other students. Like, when's the last time we were in a space with students that was like a classroom setting? So we Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 to 4. If you're interested in that, just come by. I mean, we have outdoor space and indoor space. And even in 30-degree weather, believe it or not, we're out there and helping people complete their PE assignment. So we have to walk a block, walk a lap, or find a duck, or there's some interesting PE assignments these days. But anyways, yeah.
Wow, that's an awesome opportunity. I think we'll make sure, for those of you who are watching, we'll make sure and put that on our Instagram too.
Okay, and I'll shoot you over a flyer.
That'd be awesome, because I bet there's a lot of our students who'd be interested in that. And this is a related question, I think. So it says, since COVID started, okay, they found it hard to join their clubs on Zoom meetings, so it doesn't feel quite the same. So how can students still stay interested and engaged?
And that is one of our biggest challenges. And I kind of mentioned that earlier. It's hard. I mean, it's hard. I've been in Zoom. I feel like I've been in Zoom since 6 o'clock this morning. You know what? But this is what we have right now. I mean, this is where we are right now. Besides that in-person opportunity, and sometimes I tell you, I just want to get away from my kitchen table and go and sit there. And I work from the Science Center. But it is hard. What I'm trying to do is make sure students know all of their resources. Like I know the SAIL program sent out a weekly update today and talked about the HOOTS program. Let's take care of self. Really, really important and hard to forget. So, you need to take care of yourself first. Self-care is important. And then you need to know what's comfortable for you. I keep talking about this in-person program. It's not comfortable for everybody. It's like the vaccination. Who's going to take it? Who feels comfortable taking? We all have our own mindset on how we want to engage. We could, now, if you're at a school and you have a BSU meeting, depending on who the navigator is, if you'll let me know, let's meet at a park. I don't know how your parents feel like that. Let's ride our bikes, social distance, and do a lap around a park. I mean, I'm trying to be really, really be creative right now with our navigators because it's difficult for all of us. I think we can still social distance and get some fresh air and get some exercise and be able to wave outside of the computer screen to each other. So we're open, and I'm trying to be really, really creative because you're right. I will be honest and talk about our BSU meetings and attendance. I'm concerned. So what we do are we're doing some one-on-ones with people, like checking in, calling. Maybe you're not at the BSU meeting, but hey, how's it going? Do you need anything? Do you need a hotspot? Do you need internet connection? Is your family struggling with essential needs? We have information about all that. Can you not, when you can't pay your bills and everybody's stressed out and struggling at home, it's hard, right? And then who wants to leave the house and go on a bike ride, right? But we have resources for that, so please reach out.
So I love the creativity piece. I think it's like so important to keep thinking, right?
Hoverboards, skateboards.
About it. Yeah, I love it. So here's, I think this question is going to apply to a lot of people. So since the pandemic, my plans to pursue education after high school have changed. And I think for some students, right, that's going to have to do with family or if they have to work or so many different things. What can I do to make sure I'm not off track? And how do I know if I'm making the right decision?
Oh, that is an excellent question and right down my alley. I'm hoping that your plans have changed for the better and that you're not going to not pursue. So I want to encourage you to keep your plans alive. Like, this isn't going to be forever. I want you to reach out to the school. So if you're still interested in whatever school you're interested in going to, I want you to get in touch with learn how to navigate through their website. I want you to start applying for scholarships because we're deep in scholarship season right now. And I'm sure you guys have had some financial aid workshops or people come in representation of this financial aid and scholarship. This is the time. Please do not let your dreams and your visions die out because of COVID. We don't use it as an excuse. I mean, I say it loosely because everything can be blamed on COVID, but please make sure that you're still pursuing your college. So you can still do some of the same things. And I mean, a lot of students are so familiar with being online and searching and researching. Continue to look for scholarships. The OSAC scholarship is super important right now. And I think everybody who is thinking about going to college, whether your plans are going to change or not, submit us an OSAC scholarship, Oregon Student Access Commission. Please submit that. And also do your research with the schools. Absolutely. And number one, apply for financial aid. Definitely fill out your FAFSA. You never know what's going to happen, right? You might say, well, our plans have changed and I'm not going to start school in the fall. Just complete the FAFSA, look for scholarships just in case, because we don't know what's going to happen and you never know and you don't want to miss that opportunity. So it's difficult, but right now, use the time. Okay, we're all at home. You're sitting in front of a computer right now. Pretty soon this is going to end. I want you to go onto the website for the school that you're interested in, LCC, U of O, wherever you're interested in going, and go onto the financial aid and scholarship page right now and see when the deadlines are. I want you to get your phone out, and I want you to go to calendar. See, I got one here. I got one here. See, you hit calendar, go to the calendar, and then I want you to put all the deadlines in your calendar when those scholarship applications are due, and I want you to apply. And I want you to keep your vision alive. And I want you to continue to work with the SAIL program and all of the connections that they're giving you so that you can stay encouraged and inspired. I want you to pursue your college education.
Oh, thank you, Holly. See, everyone, you have your homework now. this is your task for the day. If you do your one college related thing per day, right? That's your thing.
The tools that we have. I mean, we have them. Education is still alive. Financial aid is still available. Scholarships are still available. Check with the Oregon Community Foundation. Check with all the scholarship program. Ask your parents. Do they know any of organizations that are offering scholarships? Reach out. Go call the financial aid and scholarship office. Tell them that Holly told you to call. That would be awesome. Call University of Oregon and tell them that Holly told you to call, and that you just want to find out every opportunity they have right now because you're interested in going to college and you're going to start in the fall. I want you to make sure your admissions applications are in. If they're not in, I want you to start working on that personal statement. I want you to start an application today. Tell them Holly told you.
I was going to say, I can also guarantee you that if you tell them Holly told you to call, they will know what you're talking about. So that's your in. There was a question here that was, what is your biggest advice for students? But you've given us so much good advice. I wanted to talk, sometimes when we have these conversations, I like to talk a little bit about careers too. And you've worn so many hats and you have so many talents.
Wow.
Any thoughts on, if someone out there says, wow, she has the job that I want to have, or I hear something in your journey that really resonates with them. What kind of advice would you give to someone who kind of might want to follow in your footsteps?
Well, okay. I'm gonna let you slide on this one, Megan.
I mean,
no. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
I am very inspired by your journey.
And I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that because it hasn't been easy, and when I say keep the vision alive, I think I probably got the job I have now because I sat in that interview and they asked me a question along these lines and I said, keeping the vision alive. We don't keep the vision alive and it dies out and we allow it to die out and let all these outside forces, get in and infiltrate our thinking and our thought process and our goals and our aspirations, then everything is just going to go down. You got to keep your head up. I'm telling you, I'm struggling myself, so I speak from experience, but I kept the vision alive. Like I said, I've had some doors closed in my face, but I had to go back and refocus and regroup and regroom myself. I had to go back, and people in Megan's circle and from the SAIL program had to tell me, this is what you need to do. Quit being so negative. I had your SAIL directors and administrators tell me, quit being so negative, and and be more positive. And so that's my advice today. Keep your head up because there's so many forces right now that are trying to get us down and trying to beat us down. And in the African-American and Black community, we've been dealing with this forever and ever and ever, right? But this is the time right now. If you really think about it, this is the time right now. The SAT test expectations have changed. Colleges are looking for you right now. They want us to come to their schools, right? This is the time. Do your homework, log in, make yourself accountable. This is your year right now. Everybody should be getting straight A's right now. You're at home, you're in your own space, you're comfortable. Career, there are so many career opportunities. Before we leave, I want everybody to know to go to the Lane ESD website and look under Connect to Lane County and Elevate programs. We have one coming up this summer where we're going to pay students to participate in a career tech program, and they can have the job through next year, and they're going to get training. And so it's just so many opportunities. So Reach out to me. I mean, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to share these opportunities. But under the ESD, the Educational Service District, there are a lot of other programs besides the Lane Abs, and they're awesome. Branding, marketing, coding. There are so many programs available right now. So those are the kind of things that we like to connect you with. And we always want to include our population in our groups and our community, because a lot of times they don't hear about it, they don't feel comfortable, but we're going to work in coordination with them, and we're going to be those social supports there to help you through it. But keep your head up, stay positive. You got to stay positive, stay focused, and keep the vision alive. That's really my best advice. And when you're feeling down, and when reach out to somebody who is going to lift you up and be positive. You're going to have to. We got to stick together. We're all in this together. We're all in this together.
That's great advice, and so well said, and I think really timely as we're heading into this new year, and maybe a lot of people are heading into new terms in school, or kind of hitting that point where they need a little pick me up and a little reminder. So yeah, thank you so much. I think we've covered kind of what we had in our questions. But like we said before, we'll add some more information and some contact information and some of the resources that Holly's mentioned in the description of this video. So that's something you can share with your students, or you can share with your family or younger siblings, whoever you think needs to see that, do share. But Holli, thank you so much for being here and for sharing and just for being awesome.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, awesome. We'll have everyone watching, Holli, you and everyone watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Keep hope alive.